For a year, my wife, Chloe, used her pregnancy as a reason to keep me at arm's length. I believed her. I worked myself to the bone, wanting to give her and our unborn child the best possible future. Until the day I came home early to surprise her. Instead, I saw her outside a clinic, wrapped in a passionate kiss with my best friend, Leo Vance. She laughed, tapping him playfully on the chest. Don't worry, Ethan's still completely clueless. He actually thinks I'm pregnant. All his money will be ours soon enough. In that single moment, the entire world went silent. My blood felt like it turned to ice, only to rush to my head and explode a second later. I quietly deleted the bookmark for the high-end nursery I was planning to order from and dialed a number I hadn't touched in 3 years. Grandfather, the 3-year challenge ends today. I'm done playing. There was a brief pause on the other end. Then a voice, aged but full of relief, came through. It's good to have you back, son. Welcome home. Helios Corporation is yours now. Hey, honey, I had my checkup today. The doctor said the baby's perfectly healthy, but I really need to take it easy for a while. It's going to be a little expensive. The iMessage from my wife, Chloe, glowed on the screen, punctuated by a string of sad face emojis. I stared at the words checkup, and the image of her kissing Leo outside the clinic flooded my mind. My stomach churned. For an entire year, she'd used this pregnancy to keep me sleeping on the couch. I thought she was just being cautious, taking every precaution for our child. I handed over every paycheck, rode the subway for an hour each way, and lived off cheap sandwiches. Also, she and the baby could have a better life. I actually thought I was the luckiest man in the world. Turns out, I was just the world's biggest fool. I wasn't just being played, I was the whole damn game. My face was a mask as I texted back. I understand. How much do you need? Well, there's the mortgage this month, my prenatal vitamins, and I want to get a few things for the nursery. I think about 5,000 should cover it. Chloe replied quickly, her tone casual, entitled. A bitter laugh escaped my lips. 5 grand. My take-home pay after killing myself all month was 4,500, and she just casually asked for 5,000. The old me would have immediately started calling friends, maxing out credit cards, doing whatever it took to give her what she wanted. But now, I calmly typed my response. I don't have it. The message was sent. Silence on the other end. A full 5 minutes passed before my phone rang. Chloe's voice was sharp, laced with disbelief. Ethan, what the hell is that supposed to mean? I'm carrying your child. We need this money. And you're telling me you don't have it? Are you trying to get rid of this baby? Are you seeing someone else? Her accusations were so backward, I almost laughed out loud. The Academy owes you an Oscar. I fought back my anger, keeping my voice flat. I gave you my last paycheck. All I have left is a couple $100 to live on for the rest of the month. You can check my bank statements if you don't believe me. Chloe was speechless. She knew I was broke. She controlled every penny I made. I don't care, she shrieked, starting her usual tantrum. I don't care how you do it, but you'll give me that $5,000 today. If you don't, I'm getting an abortion. Threatening me with a child that doesn't even exist? Any last shred of affection I had for her vanished into dust. Do what you want. I said the words and hung up the phone. Then I blocked her number. Silence. I leaned back in my cheap office chair and closed my eyes. 3 years ago, to prove I was more than just a trust fund kid, I made a bet with my grandfather. I would live as a normal person for 3 years, without a single penny of the family's money. In those 3 years, I delivered food, worked in sales, and was now a junior designer at this small firm. I'd seen the best and worst of people, and I met the woman I thought was the love of my life, Chloe. I had naively planned to tell her everything when the challenge was over, to give her the wedding of her dreams, to make her the happiest woman in the world. The irony was crushing. The challenge, as of today, was officially over. I opened my eyes. They were cold, all hesitation gone. I found that number buried deep in my contacts and made the call. Grandfather, the 3-year challenge ends today. I'm done playing. There was a brief pause on the other end. Then a voice, aged but full of relief, came through. It's good to have you back, son. Welcome home. Helios Corporation is yours now. Chapter 2. Less than a minute after I hung up, a private number called me. I answered. A crisp, professional female voice spoke. Mr. Cross, my name is Ava Sterling. Your grandfather sent me to assist you. I'm waiting for you downstairs. I'm in the black Rolls-Royce Phantom. Understood. I ended the call, picked up the tedious sales report I've been working on, and dropped it straight into the trash can. Then, as my coworkers stared in confusion, I walked to my department manager's office. The manager, Mark Warren, was a greasy man in his 40s, currently scrolling through his stock portfolio with his feet on his desk. He didn't even look up when I walked in. "Ethan, is the report done?" "No," I said flatly. "Then what are you doing in my office? You looking to get fired?" he asked, finally lifting his head with an annoyed expression. "That's right," I said, looking him in the eye. "I quit, and you're fired." Mark stared at me for a second, then burst out laughing as if I were a complete idiot. "Ethan, did you finally snap from being broke? Has your brain melted? Me fired? Who the hell do you think you are, talking to me like that?" I ignored him, pulled out my phone, and called Ava, putting her on speaker. "Ava, the company I'm at is called Apex Designs. I need you to complete a full acquisition within 10 minutes. Also, inform them that the new owner's first decision is to fire the design department manager, Mark Warren." Ava's response was immediate, without a hint of hesitation. "Yes, Mr. Cross." Mark's laughter died in his throat. He stared at my phone, his expression shifting from mockery to confusion, and finally, to panic. What? What is this, some kind of prank? Who do you think you are? You can't just act this out in the office," he sputtered, his bravado failing him. I didn't waste any more words on him and turned to leave. Just as I stepped out of his office, the company's owner, a portly man with a perpetually sweaty brow, burst through the main door, panting. Trailing behind him were several men in sharp suits, radiating an aura of absolute power. "Warren, get your worthless ass out here right now." The owner's roar echoed through the entire office. Mark scrambled out of his office, his face a mask of sycophantic terror. "Mr. Peterson, what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" "I'm here because you're about to sink my entire company." Mr. Peterson slapped Mark hard across the face, then pointed a trembling finger at the men in suits. "This is the legal team from Helios Corporation. Our company was just acquired by Helios. Now, immediately, pack your crap and get the hell out. You're fired." Mark was completely stunned. He collapsed to the floor, staring in disbelief at my retreating back. The entire office was dead silent. Every one of my now former colleagues looked at me as if I were an alien. I didn't look back. I just walked downstairs. A brand new, gleaming black Rolls-Royce Phantom was parked to the curb, drawing stares from everyone on the street. The back door opened, and a stunningly beautiful woman in a bespoke power suit stepped out. She looked at me and bowed a perfect 90 degrees. "Welcome back, Mr. Cross." Chapter 3, I sank into the plush leather of the Rolls-Royce's back seat, the interior filled with a faint, clean scent. Ava handed me a tablet displaying the organizational chart and core assets of Helios Corporation. "Mr. Cross, here are the financial reports for the last 3 years. Your personal accounts have been unfrozen. Your current liquid capital stands at $20 billion. I glanced at the impossibly long string of zeros, feeling nothing. These numbers were just a tool for my revenge. "Leo Vance," I said, sending his name and photo to Ava. "I want everything on him. Right away." Ava's efficiency was remarkable. In less than 30 seconds, Leo's entire life story was on the tablet. Leo Vance, 28. Project Director at Aura Innovations, with an annual salary of $200,000. He's currently heading up an AI project codenamed Genesis, which is critical to Aura's future. He owns a condo with a mortgage and drives a BMW 5 Series. Aura Innovation, Project Director? A cold smile touched my lips. "I want Aura Innovations bankrupt by sunrise tomorrow," I said calmly, as if discussing the weather. "And I want the Genesis project. All core data, all patents transferred to me." Ava's expression didn't change. She simply nodded. "Understood. The venture capital division of Helios is already Aura's largest shareholder. We can pull all funding and invoke the non-compete clauses to poach their entire core development team at a moment's notice." "Excellent," I said, leaning back and closing my eyes. "Take me to a decent men's store. I need a change of clothes." This cheap suit was starting to feel incredibly uncomfortable. Half an hour later, I walked out of a top-tier luxury boutique. The hand-tailored Italian suit fit perfectly, accentuating a physique I'd maintained through years of discipline. On my wrist was a Patek Philippe worth more than the entire company I just left. Clothes really do make the man. The person in the mirror was both a stranger and intimately familiar. That commanding presence I had suppressed for so long was finally back. Just then my phone rang. A new number. I answered it, and Chloe's furious voice erupted from the speaker. "Ethan, you got a lot of nerve blocking me. Let me tell you something. I want that $5,000, and I want it now. Where are you? Bring it to me." She must have used someone else's phone to call me. Listening to her bark orders at me was almost comical. "Where are you?" I asked. "I'm at the Galleria in Midtown, shopping. You need to get here right now. I'll give you 30 minutes. She hung up before I could reply. "The Galleria? Perfect." I turned to Ava. "Take me to the Galleria." "Yes, Mr. Cross." The Rolls-Royce glided smoothly toward the most opulent shopping center in the city. The show was about to begin. The Galleria was a temple of luxury, a place where money flowed like water. When I arrived, I saw Chloe and Leo at a high-end jewelry counter, admiring a diamond ring. Leo was looking at Chloe with a doting expression, while she slipped the ring on her finger, a picture of pure bliss. All the anger and impatience from her phone call had vanished. They looked like a real couple, and I was just the ATM funding their perfect life. I stood a short distance away, watching them. "Oh, darling, this one is gorgeous. It's called the Eternity Heart, but it's $50,000, Chloe cooed, leaning against Leo. Leo waved his hand dismissively. "If you like it, we'll get it. What's 50 grand? Once Project Genesis goes public, 100 million will be pocket change." "Oh, you're the best," Chloe squealed, planting a kiss on his cheek. The salesperson beamed, laying on the flattery. "You have a wonderful eye, madam, and you, sir, are clearly a man of great success." It was then that Chloe spotted me. The smile on her face evaporated, replaced by a look of pure disgust and annoyance. She clicked over to me in her high heels, looking down her nose at me. "What are you doing here? Did you bring the money?" Leo sauntered over, wrapping an arm around Chloe's waist and shooting me a mocking, provocative smirk. Well, if it isn't Ethan, come to deliver your wife's allowance." I ignored him, my eyes fixed on Chloe. "I brought the money." Her eyes lit up. "Where is it? Give it to me." I pulled a check from the inner pocket of my suit jacket and waved it in front of her. "This is for 5 million, not 5,000. Both Chloe and Leo stopped breathing. They stared at the check, their eyes burning with a mixture of greed and utter shock. Where did you get that kind of money?" Chloe's voice trembled. "Does it matter?" I said, pulling the check back. "Do you want it?" "Yes." They both blurted out in unison, like two dogs lunging for a bone. "All right, you can have it," I said with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. "On one condition. Get on your knees, bark like a dog, and if I'm satisfied, the money is yours." "Ethan, are you insane?" Chloe shrieked, her voice echoing in the silent boutique. Leo's face turned a deep, furious red. He jabbed a finger at me. "Who the hell do you think you are? You want me to get on my knees? You piece of trash. Are you asking for a death wish?" The commotion had attracted the attention of other shoppers and staff, who were now whispering and pointing. "Isn't that Ethan? Why is he dressed like that? A $5 million check? It has to be fake. Telling Mr. Vance to kneel for him? The guy's lost his mind." I let their murmurs wash over me, completely unbothered. I looked at the enraged Leo and spoke slowly. "Mr. Vance, is it? Project Director at Aura Innovations. That Genesis project sounds very impressive." Leo was taken aback for a second before puffing out his chest. "You're damn right it is. It's a billion-dollar project. A level of success a loser like you could never even dream of." "Is that so?" I chuckled softly and took out my phone, dialing Ava. "Ava, you can proceed with Aura Innovations." "Yes, Mr. Cross." I hung up. Leo was about to launch into another tirade when his own phone started ringing frantically. He glanced at the caller ID, and his face paled. It was his CEO. "Hello, Mr. Stone." "Vance, where the hell are you? The core data for Genesis has been completely wiped. Our primary investor, Helios Corporation, just pulled all funding. The company is finished. Get your ass back here now." His boss's hysterical screaming was so loud it was audible from several feet away. The color drained from Leo's face, leaving it a ghostly white. No, that's impossible. Mr. Stone, this isn't funny. He clutched his phone, his hand shaking uncontrollably. Funny? I'll show you funny. Our largest shareholder just dumped all their stock. Our value has completely tanked. The legal team from Helios is on their way. Vance, you're fired. You can expect to hear from our lawyers. The call ended abruptly. Leo stood frozen, as if struck by lightning. Everyone nearby had overheard the call. The looks they gave Leo were now a mix of pity and schadenfreude. Chloe was dumbfounded. She grabbed Leo's arm. Honey, what's happening? What about Project Genesis? Leo didn't seem to hear her. He just mumbled to himself. It's over. It's all over. He snapped his head up, his bloodshot eyes locking onto me with raw fear. It was you. You did this, didn't you? I looked at him and smiled. Do you still need me to answer your question about who the hell I think I am? Chapter 6. Leo's lips trembled, but no words came out. Fear, cold and absolute, wrapped around him like a shroud. He couldn't comprehend how the pathetic loser he'd looked down on could suddenly wield such devastating power. How? In the span of a single phone call, his entire world had been brought crashing down. Chloe finally grasped that something was terribly wrong. She looked at my expensive suit, the watch on my wrist, and then at Ava, who had appeared silently behind me, radiating an intimidating competence. An absurd and terrifying thought began to form in her mind. Ethan, you. I cut her off. Chloe, our marriage is over. I took a folder from Ava and tossed it at Chloe's feet. Those are the divorce papers. I've already signed them. The car, the apartment, the savings. You can have it all. I don't want any of it. Consider it payment for services rendered. My voice was low, but each word was a hammer blow, striking Chloe right in the heart. She stared at the papers on the floor, then back at me, her face completely ashen. No, I won't sign them, she cried, shaking her head frantically. Ethan, please let me explain. It's not what it looked like with Leo. We're just friends. Our baby can't grow up without a father. She was trying to use that non-existent child again. Pathetic. I watched her clumsy performance with a growing sense of disgust. The baby? I scoffed. Are you sure there's anything in there? Or should I book out the entire floor of Mount Sinai right now and have their best specialists give you a full workup? The color drained from Chloe's face. She stumbled backward, all the strength gone from her legs. She knew. I knew everything. Ethan, I was wrong. Please, just give me one more chance, she begged, tears streaming down her face in a desperate attempt to win my sympathy. We've been together for so long. Don't talk to me about US, I interrupted, my gaze as cold as ice. You use my money to support your lover while playing me for a fool. Is that what you call a relationship? Chloe, the moment you betrayed me, the only thing left between us was contempt. Without another glance at her, I turned to leave. Ethan, don't go. Leo suddenly snapped out of his daze. He lunged forward, grabbing my leg, and in front of everyone, dropped to his knees with a loud thud. Mr. Cross. Sir, I was wrong. I'm a blind, arrogant idiot. Please, have mercy on me. Please, let me go. Tears and snot streamed down his face. The arrogant project director was gone, replaced by a pathetic, groveling mess. Please, Project Genesis was my entire life. I'll have nothing without it. I'll die. He started banging his head on the marble floor, over and over, a bloody bruise already forming on his forehead. The entire mall was captivated by the scene. A man who had been the picture of success just minutes before was now prostrating himself like a dog. I looked down at him, my expression devoid of pity. Let you go. When you and Chloe were laughing behind my back, did you ever think of letting me go? When you were calling me a loser, did you ever imagine this day would come? It's too late to beg. I lifted my leg and casually kicked him aside. Get lost. One word, sealing his fate. Chapter 7. With Ava in tow, I left the Galleria. Behind me, I could hear Leo's hopeless wails and Chloe's soul-crushing sobs. It had nothing to do with me anymore. Once we were in the car, Ava handed me a bottle of water. Mr. Cross, Aura Innovations, has already filed for bankruptcy. All data and personnel from Project Genesis will be transferred to our control within 24 hours. Also, regarding Ms. Evans and Mr. Vance's personal affairs. Go on. Our investigation confirms that during your marriage, Ms. Evans repeatedly used your funds to purchase luxury goods for Mr. Vance. They also jointly purchased a property in his name. Their illicit relationship has been ongoing for 2 years. Furthermore, we've confirmed with the clinic that Ms. Evans has no record of ever being pregnant. All of her ultrasounds and medical reports were forgeries, created by an associate of Mr. Vance. Ava recited the facts with dispassionate precision. As I listened, any lingering emotion I felt turned to dust. 2 years. From the very beginning, my entire marriage had been a lie. I see, I said, closing my eyes to hide the cold fury in them. Ruin them? Yes, Mr. Cross. Ava nodded. I've already taken the liberty of arranging for the story of their affair, along with evidence of the forged documents, to be anonymously leaked to their respective families, friends, and professional networks. I expect that by morning, they will be social pariahs. I just grunted in response. For people like them, a quick end would be a mercy. Letting them live, drowning in endless regret, shame, and poverty. That was the cruelest punishment of all. The car was quiet. After a few minutes, I opened my eyes and watched the city lights blur past the window. Ava. Yes, Mr. Cross. Thank you for these last 3 years. I knew that during my challenge, Ava had been in the background, quietly protecting me, cleaning up messes I never even knew existed. Ava seemed surprised. A faint blush appeared on her normally stoic face. I was only doing my duty, sir. I looked at her, and for the first time in a long time, a genuine smile formed. The challenge is over. You don't have to call me Mr. Cross anymore. Call me Ethan. Chapter 8. In the following days, I began the formal process of taking over Helios Corporation. It was a vast, sprawling empire, but I adapted quickly. My 3 years on the ground, living and working among ordinary people, had given me a much deeper understanding of the market than any executive staring at spreadsheets in a corner office. Ava became my chief of staff. Her competence was undeniable. She managed everything with seamless efficiency. With her by my side, my burden was significantly lighter. Meanwhile, news about Chloe and Leo would occasionally reach me. Just as Ava had predicted, their scandalous story went viral within their social and professional circles. Their reputations were destroyed. Aura Innovations sued Leo, burying him under a mountain of debt. Blacklisted from the tech industry, he was forced to take odd jobs to survive. His former friends wanted nothing to do with him. Chloe's life was no better. Her parents, mortified by the shame she'd brought upon them, kicked her out. Her reputation made it impossible for her to find a job. The assets I had left her, the apartment, the car, were frozen by the court pending the divorce settlement, as she was the adulterous party. Overnight, she went from a pampered housewife to a destitute outcast. I heard they were now living together in a damp, miserable basement apartment, constantly fighting about money. He blamed her for his downfall, calling her a curse. She screamed at him for being a useless failure. The once loving couple now despised each other. It was the ending I wanted. One afternoon, as I was reviewing documents in my office, Ava came in. Ethan, Ms. Evans is in the lobby. She's demanding to see you. I didn't even look up from my work. Tell her to leave. She says if you refuse to see her, she'll kill herself right at the entrance to the building. The pen in my hand paused. Still trying to threaten me? I looked up, my eyes turning cold. Send her up. I wanted to see what kind of pathetic act she had planned. Chapter 9. 10 minutes later, Chloe was escorted into my office. The woman standing before me was a ghost of the polished, beautiful person I once knew. She was wearing cheap, worn-out clothes. Her hair was dry and unkempt, her face gaunt and sallow. A fading purple bruise marked her cheek, a clear sign she'd been hit. The moment she saw me, her eyes lit up with a desperate hope, and she lunged toward me. Ava instantly stepped between us, blocking her path. Ethan, Chloe cried out, her voice cracking. I know I was wrong. I really, truly know I was wrong. She collapsed to her knees and began bowing her head to the floor. Please, just give me one more chance. Can we get back together? I swear, I'll be a good wife from now on. I'll never see Leo again. He's a monster, Ethan. He hits me. He steals my money. I must have been out of my mind to ever be with him. She sobbed, painting herself as the innocent victim in a tragic story. I watched her, feeling as though I were observing a horribly acted play. Are you finished? I asked calmly. Chloe froze, stunned by my detached reaction. Ethan, don't you feel sorry for me at all? After everything we've been through. Feel sorry for you? I laughed. Chloe, have you forgotten how you got that bruise on your face? If it weren't for your greed and your betrayal, would any of this have happened to you? Everything you're suffering right now, you brought upon yourself. It has nothing to do with me. My words were knives, gutting her of her last defense. She slumped to the floor, her face a mask of gray despair. No, that's not true, she whispered to herself. You loved me. You used to do anything I asked. You're right. The old me did love you, I said, standing up and walking to the panoramic window that overlooked the city. But the Ethan who loved you died the moment he saw you kissing Leo Vance. Now, when I look at you, all I feel is disgust. My voice was glacial, utterly devoid of emotion. Chloe's last hope shattered. She knew there was no going back. Suddenly, like a woman possessed, she scrambled up from the floor and charged at me. Ethan, if my life is ruined, then so is yours. We'll go to hell together. In her hand, a small, gleaming fruit knife had appeared from nowhere. She lunged, aiming the blade directly at my chest. Chapter 10. Faced with Chloe's frenzied attack, I didn't even flinch. Ava moved. Her actions were a blur of speed and precision. In one fluid motion, she executed a perfect restraining hold, pinning Chloe to the floor. The fruit knife clattered harmlessly on the ground. You fool, Ava said, her voice like ice as she applied more pressure. Chloe screamed in pain. Call the police, I instructed calmly. Attempted assault should be enough to keep her busy for a while. The authorities arrived quickly and hauled away the sobbing, defeated mess that was Chloe. The office was quiet again. Ava picked up the knife with a tissue, wrapped it, and disposed of it. My apologies, Ethan. It was my failure that allowed her to bring a weapon in here, she said, bowing her head slightly. It's not your fault, I replied, looking at her. I underestimated the depths of human depravity. After that incident, any lingering shred of my past with Chloe was gone, replaced by pure revulsion. Her future would be decided by the justice system. It was a fitting end. Ethan, Ava said suddenly, her voice hesitant. What is it? Leo Vance is dead. I was surprised. Ow! Suicide. He jumped from an overpass. He died on impact, Ava reported. He was buried in debt and couldn't find work. I suppose he couldn't take it anymore. I was silent for a moment. I never wanted him dead. I just wanted him to experience the same hopelessness he had put me through. I never imagined he was so weak. It's for the best, I said quietly. It's over. For me, Chloe and Leo were just a footnote in the story of my life. Now that chapter was closed. My revenge was complete. Chapter 11, with the drama of Chloe and Leo finally over, my life returned to a new, exhilarating normal. Under my leadership, Helios Corporation thrived, reaching unprecedented levels of success and market value. I became the new titan of the business world. People fawned over me, and socialites vied for my attention. I turned them all down. After Chloe's betrayal, I was wary of letting anyone get close. Ava remained by my side as my chief of staff, managing my professional and personal life with flawless precision. She was brilliant, capable, and beautiful, yet she always maintained a perfect professional distance. We were a CEO and his second-in-command, the most synchronized team in the corporate world. One evening, after a long and exhausting business gala, I returned to my penthouse apartment. Ava had a remedy for the long night waiting for me. You worked hard tonight, I said, taking the glass from her. The warm drink settled my stomach. I was only doing my job, she replied, her standard answer. I looked at her. In the soft light of the apartment, her profile was perfect, her cool demeanor hiding a gentleness I was only just beginning to notice. Ava, I said, setting the glass down, how long have you been working for me? She thought for a moment. Counting from the day your challenge began, it's been 3 years and 2 months. And you were with me in the background this whole time? Yes. Why? I asked. With your skills, you could have gone anywhere, at a much better career. Ava was silent. She looked at me, and in her clear eyes, I could see a universe of unspoken thoughts. Because she took a deep breath, as if summoning all her courage. Because the first time I saw you, you were on a street corner feeding a stray cat. I knew then that you were different from all the other men born into wealth. I was stunned. I never thought she would remember such a small, insignificant moment. So you were willing to gamble your future on a loser like me? You were never a loser, Ava said, her voice firm with conviction. You were just hiding your brilliance. I always believed that one day you would soar. Her gaze was filled with a profound trust and something more, adoration. In that instant, my heart, which had been guarded for so long, felt a powerful jolt. All this time, when I was at my lowest, someone had been there, silently believing in me, supporting me. Perhaps this was the real point of my grandfather's challenge, to help me see who was real and who was fake. I stepped forward and gently pulled her into an embrace. Her body tensed for a moment, but then she relaxed against me. Ava, I whispered into her ear. Thank you. And from now on, you're fired as my chief of staff. Her body went rigid. She pulled back to look at me, her eyes glistening. Ethan, are you letting me go? Seeing her on the verge of tears, I couldn't help but smile. You goose. I leaned down and kissed her. Be my partner. For everything. Always. Chapter 12. Ava and I were married. The news sent shockwaves through the business world. No one could believe that I, the most eligible bachelor in the country, had chosen my own chief of staff. But only I knew that she was the greatest treasure I would ever find. We had a magnificent wedding. My grandfather, his eyes wet with tears, personally placed Ava's hand in mine. My boy, he said, his voice thick with emotion. You've finally found your happiness. Our life together was everything I never knew I wanted. Ava was not just my partner in life, but my most trusted confidant in business. Together, we took Helios Corporation to even greater heights. Sometimes my thoughts would drift back to Chloe and Leo. They were a stumbling block on my path, a painful fall that ultimately showed me the way forward. Without their betrayal, I might have remained a naive fool, dreaming a foolish dream. I would never have found a woman as incredible as Ava. In a strange way, I suppose I should thank them. Sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, warming Ava and me. She was curled up against my side, reading a book. I ran my fingers through her soft hair, my heart filled with a profound sense of peace. This was the life I truly wanted. Simple, warm, with her by my side. It was more than enough.